Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today, we're discussing the Zenith Elite Captain Central Seconds, a spectacular smoked palladium dial boutique exclusive. You can see and you can own this one on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Zenith Elite Captain Central Seconds boutique exclusive. Now, there is more to Zenith than the Day-Fis and the El Primeros. Of course, this watch, handsome, refined, versatile, and quite exclusive, is one of the best representations of the Zenith Elite calibers. The problem with Zenith is not that it doesn't build great watches, but that the company is more commonly associated with its calibers than with any specific design housing those calibers. This watch breaks that trend, and it's because it's so perfectly proportioned and beautifully shaded. Start with the case, which is 40 millimeters across the round. So from 3 to 9, not including the crown, 40 millimeters is a perfect size for a contemporary men's dress watch. It's also quite slim, 8.5 millimeters thick. Remember, the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15202, the extra thin, is 8.3. The difference is imperceptible. The watch will slide underneath any tight dress cuff or sleeve. From lug to lug, 47.6 millimeters means this is a very wearable watch, and in my estimation, you see it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters. I believe this watch could be worn with style and security on a wrist as small as 13 centimeters in circumference, but it has the personality and the aesthetic purchase to hold its own against a much larger arm. If you've got a big arm and you like the look of this watch, make no mistake, it can hold its own. Now, the timepiece does feature a sophisticated, slim alligator leather strap with a monotone stitch, a folded edge, and then on the underside there's an inlay of natural rubber, which is soft and satisfying against the skin and also isolates the leather from the oils, the moistures, the heat of the wrist to extend the life of the strap. Now you can see a simple Zenith stainless steel pin buckle maintains the vintage-inspired aesthetic as well as a low profile. The case is surprisingly sophisticated. As you can see, there is a slight countersink to the bezel. It's actually seated slightly below the hood of the lugs to help ensure the thin profile and slim proportions of the watch. Again, that small step that allows the bezel to be sunken down a little bit is much appreciated. And you'll also note that there's a handsome contrast between the satin finish of the lug hoods and the polish of the caseband, as well as a very subtle transitional bevel between the caseband and the hoods of the lugs. The bezel is simple, conical, slim, and puts all of the focus on the dial. The sapphire is actually slightly box section in profile, meaning money was spent here, but not nearly as much as was spent on the dial. It is precious palladium. It is what Moser and C would call a fumet style dial. It has a gradient that actually shifts a little bit like a chameleon. Depending on what angle you look from, it is incredibly dynamic. Although smoked, it does have a distinct sunburst texture to it, which means it has both a smoked profile and a little bit of a metallic gleam. So it's highly reactive in direct light. It's active enough in the soft, diffused light of my light box that it's doing interesting things even here. All of the indices are hand applied and luminescent. There's a very subtle application of superluminova on the dial, but make no mistake, it is there. And then there's a discrete date window, which is in the perfect position for a simple three-hand watch, anchoring the dial at 6 o'clock, juxtaposed to the marquee at 12. So there's a 12 to 6 vertical axis that essentially contains everything worthwhile on the dial from a functional and aesthetic standpoint. Turn it over, and you can see the Zenith Elite Caliber 670, a much more modern movement than the El Primero. The El Primero, dating back to 1969, the Elite was actually designed on computers, one of the first modern calibers to be so conceived, and came to market in 1994. It is a slim, automatic winding, 50-hour, 28,800 vibration per hour, contemporary caliber, just over 3 millimeters thick, protected to 50 meters in this application. It features a refinement that the El Primero does not feature. In almost all applications, you'll find that short of the El Primero Day-Fi 21, hacking seconds, and the El Primero, they do not go together. But in the Elite, you have that refinement. Now you have another refinement not found on the El Primero, which is a bidirectional quickset. If I can engage the quickset in its intermediate position. It is a rather subtle clutch. There it is. You can see that I can actually turn the date in either direction with no hazard to the movement. Practical? Honestly, every modern caliber should feature a bidirectional quickset, but not everyone does. Happily, you get it with this watch. Little Giant, it's not a petite timepiece, but it is slim. Its proportions are beautiful, graceful, alternately feminine in the sensuous compound curves and masculine in the few hard, strong, creased edges. The palladium dial is singular and sensational and gives this watch the aura of something far more expensive from the likes of Vacheron Constantin, Audemars Piguet, or even Lange. This is a unique treatment, and again, aside from Moser and Zenith, you rarely see it applied. Executed in palladium, it's even more savory. See it and savor the sensation on our website.